12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
Key updates for farm businesses, a new rule on beneficial ownership, recent nuisance law changes, climate-smart agriculture partnerships, and tips for IRS audits. Plus, Senator Jerry Moran says he is working to pass a farm bill before the current one expires in 7 days. Here are his priorities. And we are nearing the start of fall, and hay rack rides, pumpkin patches, and corn mazes will soon be opening. We'll show you a look at a Swiftie-themed corn maze and concert. Good evening and welcome to Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. China's economic slowdown is leading to a significant impact on global agricultural markets as the country's grain reserves swell and demand decreases. Now, according to Bloomberg, this is cause for concern for farmers worldwide as China has long been a major customer. The effects are already visible with declining French barley exports to China and the U.S. struggling to sell corn for the new season. Australian wheat farmers about to begin harvest, likely to feel the pressure as they brace for reduced demand. This downturn could signal a prolonged challenge for global agriculture tied to China's consumption. Just 7 days remain until the current farm bill expires, and Senator Jerry Moran says he is fighting to get a new one passed. Congress must pass a new one before the current one expires, but a budget battle is keeping the current draft from passing. Congress passed the last farm bill back in 2018, but rather than pass a new one required, Congress voted to extend it by a year. Senator Moran says he is pushing for a farm bill because safety net programs like SNAP and farm coverage could lose funding.
We need a farm bill in place, even if it's the current one, but the current one is insufficient to meet the needs of the disaster that is occurring in the incomes of farmers across the country.
An August Congressional Budget Office analysis shows the recent draft of a new farm bill was more than $33 billion over budget at the time of the study. A small southeast Kansas town celebrates a new $390 million soybean processing plant. The new Bartlett soybean processing plant is located in Cherryville. The facility will produce over 500 million pounds of soybean oil and create over 50 new jobs. Governor Lori Kelly and the Kansas Soybean Commission was there with the Bartlett team to celebrate the plant's grand opening. Get ready to shell out more. Egg prices climbing higher once more. A surging consumer demand and continued bird flu challenges across the U.S. Poultry farms are translating to higher prices at the grocery store. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, wholesale egg prices surpassed about $3 per dozen in August, up from the usual $1 to $2 range. Retail egg prices were up 19% in August compared to last year. It's the end of a cruel summer with signs of fall popping up all around the country. A Maryland attraction is embracing the Taylor Swift craze with a Swiftie-themed corn maze. Check this out from Baltimore.
It's a work in progress, but come September 14th, the Maryland Corn Maze along Gambrills Road will be a Taylor Swift utopia.
As soon as they walk in, they're going to see a 20-foot by 8-foot arrow wall, and it's going to show all her eras. They're going to find a big giant 13 that's all in glittery pink. Just everything's going to be Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift.
Believe it or not, Carol Paul is not a Swiftie herself.
I didn't even know any of her songs.
She started to learn some after her son's friend came up with the idea to make this year's corn maze Taylor Swift themed.
And I was like, there is no way I'm doing Taylor Swift. Come on. So I started thinking my daughter-in-law would probably leave my son for Taylor Swift. She loves Taylor Swift. And I thought, well, that's who picks where to go on the weekends. Like, people her age pick where to go on date night or where to take the family. And I was like, maybe I should do Taylor Swift.
Now Carol is all in. A bird's eye view shows her corn maze cut in the shape of a guitar, friendship bracelets, music notes, and heart-shaped hands. The maze will feature Taylor Swift songs, a Taylor Swift-themed GPS phone game, a Swiftie section in the gift store, and Taylor Swift-themed food.
I think we're going to have some lavender haze lemonade.
And on October 2nd, singer Kanan Wren will perform Taylor Swift hits as a part of her Taylor Swift Experience live concert right outside the corn maze. As you enjoy all things Taylor Swift, Carol is excited to see you enjoy some fall fun with the people you love.
They actually enjoy time without being rushed, with being with their friends, their family, and with each other. And they just are together. They're relaxed, they're here enjoying time. It's really cool to watch.
The corn maze will also include classics like a petting zoo, hayrack rides, and of course, pumpkins. Still ahead on agriculture, how drought in Indiana is affecting our state flower here at home.